Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility, you know, like... Napoleon had that idea, he would conquer the bloody world.
Welcome to the Anfield South podcast. It's myself again, the host with the most, it's Slim. Today we have Leroy.
Yo.
And we have Chris.
Yes.
Now it's a smaller podcast today, it's just three of us, but the content will be just as good. We've got a lot to get through, so let's just dive straight in. You know what? A break from the norm. Usually we go, new game first and then to the old game, but we're going to go old game first to the new game. So let's start with the Champions League match against that team who I don't want to name anymore because I'm so upset. No, I'm joking. Red Star Belgrade. The final score was Red Star 2, Liverpool 0. I'm going to go to Leroy, see what Leroy's going to say about this game first.
Okay, so waiting for the team news, I was a bit like, bloody hell, and then obviously I see what we had going on.
Well, let's just refresh our memory of the team, yeah?
Cool.
So we started with Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, and we had Matip come in at centre-back. Midfield three of Lallana, Wijnaldum and Milner. And then it was Sturridge, Mane and Salah up front. So that was the team. So when you saw that team, what did that say to you?
Yeah, so the raised eyebrow for me was Matip Matip at the back, because I'm not a big fan of him. When he first come, I was kind of alright with the guy, but I don't know what's happened as time's gone by. But yeah, Sturridge being on there, I was surprised because I thought he could have gone, but I like Sturridge, so I thought, let's go.
He's going to do some business.
Yeah. Then obviously he had the chance, and in my head, straight away I'm thinking about that Chelsea game in the Carabao Cup, where he had the chance, down the other end, bang, it's like, it was, same thing, but they've done that, they've scored, then they've got another goal, and then from that, they've got the bit between the teeth, and then it was
that Sturridge miss was
killed us.
Was key.
Big miss.
That was...
But, sorry, if we're going to talk about the game as well, that second goal, the way people were shouting at Winnie to bring him down, I get it, but Matip
He should have stepped forward.
What the hell?
That's the big problem.
Back up.
Plays like a fanny, man.
What is that all about?
He does. He plays. He ain't got no heart. You need heart in these situations. Playing away.
Come on,
it's a
man.
hostile environment. You see that tunnel?
Well, listen. While you mention the environment, do you know what? Usually, as a Liverpool fan, we're used to creating that kind of environment, aren't we? I mean, let's look what we did to City. Let's be honest, But that atmosphere, sitting on my sofa, I was scared. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
you got to stand up. You can't. It's a situation where I think a lot of guys have looked at it and said that we've got Van Dijk there, Van Dijk to the rescue because he's stepped up and managed the game so much, but. You've got to take responsibility for playing your own game and the people around you. Sometimes you're experienced enough to direct others, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So in that situation, even though I do believe that when he should have brought him down, he should have stepped forward. He should have stepped, because remember there was 3 or 4 of Liverpool players around him. There's somebody there. Van Dijk's behind you to clear up if you miss it.
Yeah.
But go forward and make the challenge.
That's what I was saying. If Matip steps out and engages him, then that allows Wijnaldum time to actually get round and even cover, and then it gives that guy something to think about. So then he might even check back and lay the ball back, and then we get set, and there's no danger. But guys coming in the team, they're supposed to know the system and how we play, but you can't legislate for a guy who's gonna not have the heart, if you like.
No, that's exactly what it is. He ain't got the heart. It's just, for me, part of being a good defender and ability to read the game. So you can read situations. You don't have to go flying into every challenge. But know when you need to take charge and do it. Where are you going back? What are you going to do? When he hits the ball in the top corner, do you know what I mean? You could walk back into the net, but it's not going to help anything.
I mean, as you guys said already, I think you might highlight what you said, Chris. We were in a position there where we didn't need to be afraid there. That guy, that forward is slow. So if Matip engages, What's he going to do? Try and knock the ball around him and run around him. At that point there, when he kills him, Van Dijk's there. Even someone's got to clean up there.
Yeah,
It's easy.
And they didn't have a lot of players in support of him.
There was none.
He was isolated. So
he done the only thing he could have done
was
just get on and have a shot.
Yeah.
And he let him do it. You back up. Mate, seriously, when I saw that and the second goal went in, I said, this is it. Like, now we're actually playing rescue now. We're looking to try and get an equaliser at some point, trying to get a point.
The most we would have got out of that game would have been a draw.
It's crazy.
But
to be fair, did we even deserve a draw out of that game?
I would say, let me go back because from what Leroy was saying about the starting lineup, Paul, Mr. Adjin, who's not here today, but he often says to me that managers should get critiqued in the same way players do every game.
I agree.
Understandable.
I thought Klopp had a terrible game.
I agree.
Right from his team selection, his substitutions were ridiculous. He's not. I think that's one of his weaknesses, substitutions. But even for him, he had a bad day. Do you know what I mean? I go back to the start in terms of the team selection. Agree with you on Matip, but also that guy Lallana. For me, he's done at Liverpool. When you start with Lallana or bring him on, you're playing with 10 men as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
And let me break it down for me. For me, he has got technically one of the best players in the Premiership. Either foot, first touch, ridiculous. However, again, I said it before and I say it again, he plays like the kid after school in the playground by himself. He does. He's Cruyff turning away and he's pirouetting and he's moonwalking down the sideline, but he's not doing anything.
There's no end product with Lallana anymore. I agree with you.
He's basically a leftover from our game, which was purely based on the press.
Yeah.
So at one point when Klopp initially came in, or about a couple of months after he came in, our game was purely about the press. And he thrived in that because of his energy levels, enthusiasm and all that. It's all good. But now that our game is transitioning this season to a little bit more possession-based, he's lost.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's had something like 1 goal and 2 assists in 2 years.
Yeah,
I know he's had a bad injury record, but
that's terrible by any player standards. But I think you're right. It's his end product as well. I mean, he does a lovely Cruyff turn. It's the best. It should be called the Lallana turn.
The Lallana turn. I'm telling you, he's recoded the thing.
He's definitely. But once you do that, then you need to have something. And I think he was brought into the team in that game to be the link man between the midfield and the front. And I didn't see any linking. The only linking I could see was of his feet when he was Cruyff turning and all sorts. You know what I mean? But you know what? We could probably sit here for the next 15 minutes and harp on about Lallana and how bad he was. But you know what? Let's just be honest.
Klopp picked him.
That was a bad pick. That was a bad pick from Klopp. You spoke about his substitutions as well. I think he panicked, Klopp, when he saw what was going on the pitch and we were 2-0 down. I think he panicked. I mean, he didn't start Firmino. Fair enough. We all like Sturridge. No problems with Sturridge. But then at half-time, he runs to Firmino and brings Firmino on.
Yeah.
I
think that was terrible.
I felt that was very disrespectful towards Daniel Sturridge. I thought in the game, all right, that miss from Sturridge was big. But strikers are going to miss chances. Everyone's going to miss chances. You can't really punish a man of Daniel Sturridge's calibre and talent for that.
And Sturridge is a better finisher and arguably in better goal scoring form than Firmino.
Yeah,
so
there you go then.
To take him off and then later bring on Origi.
Yeah, that was it. So you know what? I spoke to Leroy the night of the game, and this line killed me. Leroy said to me, "If Origi's the answer, what was the question?" That is the best line I've heard all year, and it's the truth. I mean, like you said, you take off Daniel Sturridge and you turn to Divock Origi.
I was amazed he didn't bring on Keita because I think part of the reason why our attacking players have been so disjointed is that we're missing Ox. We're missing an Ox type player.
Yeah.
Somebody can.
Well, you know what? Just to cut you quickly, let's go further. We're missing a Coutinho type player.
Somebody can run with the ball.
Run with the ball. Commit players. Take on a man or two.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yes.
But instead, without Coutinho there, Ox, when he was fit, he was doing
Ox
a good
stepped up. Right, he's not as good as Coutinho. Let's just get that out there for the record. But he is he filled the void. So, go on, Chris. Go on.
And, from that, I think Keita is known. That's one of his attributes. He can drive with the ball. He's one of the best. I think he's been the best dribbler or one of the top 2 dribblers in Bundesliga for the last 2 years he was there, so he can go past the player, and he has a very good eye for a pass. So, and I don't know what his fitness levels were like, but even if he had 15 minutes, 15 minutes of him with Sturridge and all that on the pitch, And we saw the connection that him and Sturridge had in pre-season.
The link up was good.
I don't. Looking at Origi, I don't see what he would have done. What is he going to do?
I think Klopp was probably thinking another striker. Origi's maybe slightly a bit of a better target man than the rest. Not in terms of ability. Whoa, like Chris looked at me there like, what are you talking about? When I say a target man, I mean in terms of height in the box. You see what I mean? If a ball's tossed in the box, I'd back Origi to header it more than I would.
See, I wouldn't.
Wouldn't you? Do you know what? As I've said that, Sturridge is actually quite
you know what it is?
in the air, but
part of getting on the end of the ball is knowing timing your runs and knowing when to be in the correct position. Origi is a little bit simple when it comes to playing football. He's a kick and run guy. There's not too much,
Well, fair enough, but I'm just trying to.
You're trying to
find reasons why, why he shouldn't make that change.
He shouldn't have been the guy that come on. Katie should have been the guy that come on.
Yeah.
Like I said, going back to Klopp, I think he had a bad game in that regard. I didn't like the move with Sturridge because as good as Klopp is as a motivator and bringing people in and making people feel part of the whole structure of the team, I just think that was, like you said, disrespectful. And Sturridge, he's a clinical guy, good feet. He could have nicked a goal. Do you know what I mean? Out of nothing, like he did at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Origi's not scoring that goal.
Yeah, he's capable of that. He should have kept him on the pitch. But okay, so we agree that game basically was a bit topsy turvy. It was no good.
Klopp has to take the L for that one.
He still. I mean, in that game, correct me if I'm wrong. Gomez.
Cut you there, Trent. What happened to him on Tuesday?
I know.
What happened to him? I was impressed.
You can't say he really made a massive
impact. Not impressed with his performance.
He weren't great, but I was amazed that he took him off. I didn't think he did enough to get dragged off.
But Gomez came on in the second half, right? Yeah. And that for me was what kind of done me in, because I'm thinking to myself, if you're not going to start this guy, why are you going to bring him on now? Now that's what makes me think.
This is the thing, though.
It's mad.
It's a philosophy thing for me. Maybe it's a bit old school mentality. But I've always said you win your games, then you take players off. I don't get this thing of rotating for the sake of rotating. These guys can't be that tired.
But what it is as well, if you're sorry to cut you there, Slim, yeah. But if he's injured, or there is a slight thing of him being injured and not being totally match fit, I'd rather start a guy knowing I can bring him off than to bring him on as a sub, and I can't. Yeah. He kind of things me then. Do you understand what I'm saying?
If you start with your strongest 11 and you win the game, then you take people off. You got no problems.
That's the thing.
And let's be honest, looking at the games, we always knew Red Star was going to be a difficult game. Not because they're the greatest team in the world, but the atmosphere is immense. I can't get over how hostile and how not even just the hostility, just the support that they have. It's different. Amazing. So you play your best team, and then with looking at today, having Fulham, you'd think, all right, that's Fulham at home. That's more where you'd rest players from the start. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but I'm old school. I play your best 11 week in, week out, and change his needs.
It's just you mentioned the Fulham, and I thought that was very strange. It's like I'm looking at Fulham. They lost at point like 5 in a row or something like that.
Five games. Six games. 5 of which are Prem games.
And that's the game you want to play your strong. I didn't understand. Every once in a while, I think there's no doubt Klopp's a good manager, but every once in a while he does something, and I'm like, I don't get why you did that. I can't see the logic.
Well, part of like after the game and listening to other fans and talking to people, a couple of people mentioned Klopp's number 2, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his name because I can never remember how to say his name.
The Brain, though.
Right, the Brain, as he was called. Obviously, apparently he was a lot to do with a lot of the analysing of games and X, Y, and Z. So, do we feel that maybe that is him not being there is maybe causing Klopp to make some decisions that he wouldn't make without that opinion next to him?
It's possible, but Klopp's an intelligent guy. He can read games. He can see. Do you know what I mean? Although his in-game subs, like I said, that's one of his weaknesses. Every manager's got their little bits and pieces that they're weak at. For me, in-game subs.
But that's something your number 2 would help you with, no?
Yeah, maybe. But you know what it is? I think what we're missing, and I'll highlight on what you've just said to them, is probably the fact that when you have a good number 2. A good number 2 is like, say, all right, so we're friends, yeah? you'll tell me about myself if I'm wrong, whereas in someone else might look at it and not really say nothing, but you'll tell me and be like, Lee, man, come on, fix up, bro. Don't do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what he has with that guy there. They have beef from old school where they'll fall out, but then they'll get back. But that's what you want. You want a true kind of thing rather than someone that's yes men around you. And that's what I think might be happening at the moment, because I remember when we lost the other one when Rafa. They all went a bit mad.
They did go a bit crazy.
Every time you lose that number 2, even when United lost that Portuguese guy, I forgot his name.
Carlos
When they lost him, United kind of lost their way a bit, bruv. You know what I mean? The only reason they got over the finish line is because they obviously had... Fergie knows enough of the Prem to do his thing. But we're saying about United, well, like I say, I think not having that number 2 is playing us. I don't want to say it, but I think it at the moment...
In one or two situations.
Yeah.
In one or two
that's it, because that's the fine margin you need that we're playing with.
You need that.
You need that person who's just going to
100%.
say no or yes or...
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think it is playing a factor, because I couldn't understand half of the things Klopp did on Tuesday.
It's very... Even, like I said, substitutions for me has been a long-running issue that we've discussed before and we'll probably discuss again. But Tuesday stood out. It was odd, some of the stuff he was doing.
Very weird.
It's the time as well. The time of your substitutions are crucial in a game, I think, to make an impact. So I sit there and I look at the clock and we might be 1-0 down or 2-0 down. I'll be like, right, if we don't get a goal back by the 70th minute, that's when I'm starting to think. So you've got to start doing little things to change. All right, so what you might do is try and change the formation in the game with the players already on there. If it's not effective, then you say this guy, right, you go on. This is what I want you to do. This is your thing. You know what I mean? That's what Rafa had. I felt Rafa was a guy that could go to a game with 3 game plans, bro. I swear to God.
I give you that.
That's what we're missing. I can see what Klopp's trying to do, but I know we're going to touch on other top topics, so I don't want to go...
No, but I can see why Klopp will lose people, because in making those substitutions, you're going to look at Lallana and leave him on the pitch, but take off Sturridge at half time.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
If he didn't care if Sturridge missed 50 chances, at least he's in a position
to get the goal. 100%. That's what you want.
Lallana's not getting anywhere near it.
It's not even affecting the game.
Exactly. He's running around doing nothing. Playing by himself, like I said, kid in the playground after school.
I know what you mean, though.
He's just running around chasing the ball happy. Happy as Larry. Do you know what I mean? He's got to go. It's time to go, man. Thank you for what you've done, but for me, bye-bye. Hasta luego.
Wow. Lallana, you've had your marching orders. See you later, mate. Right, so to go, let's leave the Red Star game.
Yeah, press.
Yeah, we'll admit, bad game, bad day at the office. So to go back again before that, we played Arsenal away. The score was 1-1. We took the lead from a Milner goal. And then we conceded with about 10, 15 minutes to go from. Let's admit, great goal from Lacazette. But I feel we have to break that game down as well. We'll go for the lineup first. I think we started with what's probably near enough our strongest team, with Robertson obviously and Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk and Gomez. We had Fabinho in the midfield, Milner, Wijnaldum. And then the Fab Front Three, as they like to be called sometimes. Chris, what are your thoughts on that Arsenal game, man?
I was okay with it. I wasn't. I think a few people were upset because we gave away the goal. I think we played them at an unlucky time for us in that they've settled in a little bit and they built up a little bit of momentum and they started to believe again. So there is that. But
before they played us, they were 10 games unbeaten?
Yeah. But people seem to forget it's Arsenal away in the Premier League. That's not a gimme. I mean, even if they were off, you still got to respect the team that you're playing against. You can't expect to just rock up there.
I think what it is because City turned them over at the beginning and Chelsea turned them over in the beginning, and how well we play, a lot of people
expected us to rip them open,
to rip them apart.
Well, to be honest, on chances created and the fact that we had a goal ruled off, we could have easily won that. People thought they were something like, because I was speaking to an Arsenal fan, he reckons they were dominating the game.
Well, possession
without chances means nothing.
Exactly.
They didn't have that many clear-cut chances, and most of their chances came through the fact that Trent had his worst game in a Liverpool shirt.
Oh, mate.
Do you know what I mean? 90% of what they did came through...
Yeah, Trent struggled up against Aubameyang.
In general. His decision-making was poor. His tackling was poor. He weren't reading the game. He was a little bit at sea there. He was lost a little bit. So I was happy with the point. I mean, I wasn't disappointed. I thought we played okay. I think we could have been a bit more clinical and then we would have probably won the game. But when you play an away game against one of the so-called Big Six or Big Five, whatever it is these days, you go and get a point at their ground.
That's a result.
That's not a bad result.
No, that's a result.
You know, we have no right to win. Even if it doesn't matter about form, we ain't got no right to win. We got no right to win. So I take that. If we'd have played garbage throughout the whole game, got beaten, then I got something to say. But you know, we could have easily won that game. You know, I don't think I ever thought we were going to lose it. Personally,
I don't think we were. I personally don't feel we were going to lose that game. I was disappointed to only get a point from that game because, like you said, on chances created, we deserved more goals than what we actually scored. And when I look at that chance that Virgil van Dijk, he was amazing. I mean, big 6 foot, whatever he is, centre back, taking that ball down on his chest.
Crazy life.
Better than a lot of strikers out there. I mean, any kids watching that game, that is how you take a ball down. Do you know what I mean? 100%. And all that was missing was the finish. So, you know, that's when you can tell he's a defender.
Leno done well for that goal, though. He came out and he smothered him a bit.
I felt, had he have been a striker, he would have placed that more in a corner. I felt that because he knew where he was, he just wanted to get a connection on it and not miss the target. Hence why it went straight at Leno, as opposed to taking that gamble and thought, right, let me try and side foot it into a corner. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just maybe I'm being harsh, whatever. But
No, he could have because he's definitely got a technique to finish that. I mean, like I said, he's got better technique than some strikers in the Premiership. You watch him play; he's a very good footballer. He's not just a defender. Do you know what I mean? So you expect more of him. Yeah,
his touch is better than Lukaku.
Exactly.
Control the ball with a Timberland.
Yeah, I know that Timberland boot wearing mofo.
I think he's probably in jail right now for that touch.
Yeah, but for me, I just felt I was a little bit upset, and I mean everything that came with the Arsenal goal. I just think when I actually re-watched it and I actually saw our defending, I just thought, oh man, I mean. You got Trent, he was standing there trying to play offside with his hand up.
Just saying.
Now, like, what was I watching? MNF and Carragher was saying it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with putting your hand up. Yeah. But you don't
keep
stop.
Moving, keep
going. That's the basics of football. You play to the whistle.
You keep going.
That's what you teach kids. Like, you play to the whistle. And I thought that's part of that was culminating in Trent having a bad
That's the thing.
game
A few people have questioned Alisson's role in that, and I'm thinking. They left him no choice. What else he was?
Well, he had to come out to cover the angle. The guy was through and goal, and him coming out to close the angle actually caused Lacazette to hesitate and spin back round. So he done his job. Second of all, first of all, I'm saying you got Trent held in his hand and not moving. Second of all, who goes onto the line? I watch all these other teams play, and when the keeper comes out, someone always goes back, and you see that goal line clearance. Van Dijk stops because the attacker he's marking stops. And then the goal's free.
We are on occasion though guilty, especially when we're in defensive situations, guilty of ball watching. I think we've got two great centre backs, but I think sometimes other players don't take responsibility and go, all right, I'm going to get in there and cover. You know what I mean? To make sure because as good as they are, you can't expect them to get to everything. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to step up and step into line and get back in there.
Leroy's looking very pensive right now. What you want to say, man?
No, you know what I'm thinking about in that Arsenal game. There's a few things in the Arsenal game that disturbed me a bit. So one of them being, because I was scanning the team thing on your thing. I think we could have. It's going to sound so contradictory with me, but Hendo in this game, with where Fab was, if you start off like that. With him in there, I know it sounds negative, but if you have him in there like that in a game like this, of that magnitude, because you're throwing Fabs in their game, he's never dealt with that before. He's never had that. He's not had to be. The Premiership is a different thing. When we play Arsenal, they might have, even when Arsenal were playing crap at one stage, like I think it was when we had Suarez and all that, they still give us a game like they'll raise their game for that one game.
Most of the top six when they play each other,
they always do.
The form kind of slightly goes out the window.
100%.
More like 100%.
Yeah. Sometimes we'd be having old school. We have a poor run up of games, and we'll play like a United, and we'll play out of our skin. You're expected to get thumped, but it doesn't happen, does it? Yeah. Anyway, going back to that to the goal that actually happened, and this is gonna. I don't know how you guys are gonna bode with this year. But our pressing at the moment, I was really impressed before with how we used to do the press. It doesn't have to be 100 miles an hour, guys, but it's just putting them guys under pressure and forcing that pass that they don't really want to play, so it might be under hit, might be over hit. So it makes a guy who's going to receive the ball now under pressure, because if it's under hit, he's got to go meet it. If it's over, he's got to try and control it and pass. I mean, now he's rushing his next pass. I find that we're kind of off it. We're not on it, like at it. I want them at it again now.
Not 100% commitment to the first,
We're not getting that, and that allowed Arsenal in that build up to that goal. I don't know if you have watched it over again, but the build up was for me a lack of urgency to get there and just to put that guy under that bit of pressure. So eventually, when it gets there, because that's what Wrighty and all that are talking about. The passage of play. But we lacked shutting them down. If we had done that, that doesn't happen. It's a different
Last season we were doing that, though,
exactly.
We weren't giving teams the space to make that pass, or they were making that pass. It was hurried, and then people coming in behind were latching onto that bad pass. Yeah, you're right.
And that's what we're missing at the moment. People are talking about the goals,
intensity.
Yeah, but it's that. You don't have to be 100 miles.
But then Sam would say, we're not playing that full throttle football right now. We're more playing controlled football, and we're maybe doing that in patches. Or where Sam was saying, come December-y times, we'll still have that energy level to then now up that intensity.
I agreed with, because I was talking about that myself in one of our podcasts previous. I was saying that we don't have to do that every game. What I'm expecting is it's not running at a guy like 100 miles an hour, but just get there,
pressure,
just a little bit. If you're there,
think about it.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not enough of it. It's too much kind of stand off and let them do their thing. Because we're confident at the back at the moment, because we know them guys are going to do their job, innit? But I just think it always starts from up the top.
Ironically, one of the guys that got stick on Tuesday, in the Arsenal game, was the guy that was doing it, and that was Fabinho. Because you could say he gave away a few free kicks. That's because he was trying to get in there amongst people. You know what I mean? Because a few people were saying that, going about his performance, as though he had a bad game. I don't think he had a bad game at all. I think it won't be the greatest game he plays in a Liverpool shirt. Yeah. But I always give credit to people who are still involved. You had our friend Wijnaldum.
Oh, here we go. Guys who listen to us regularly are gonna get sick of hearing this guy. You know what? I'm not gonna say not say his name here, because he's a big topic of debate on the WhatsApp group. So it's just,
you know what it is. I'll be honest with you. My issue with Wijnaldum, and I will give him credit for improving on last season. He has been integral to some of the stuff we've done. My thing with him is mostly in away games. In away games, he seems to just go missing. I don't know why. What it is, it must be a psychological thing where he doesn't feel as comfortable. But for me, he doesn't do enough in away games, in a lot of away games. Do you know what I mean? He goes missing and he's neither here nor there. I mean, look, the game against Red Star, nobody made a tackle in midfield. And that's twice they've had that stat in the European away games. One was against
Napoli.
No. It was against Sevilla.
Okay.
When it was a 3-3. Right. And that game against Red Star, and he's been there the same time. So he gets to the thing where I'd rather him go foul somebody. Get involved. Do you know what I mean? Don't just dance around the ball.
But then we're getting into Lucas Leiva territories, and a lot of people didn't like Lucas and felt he gave away needless fouls. So then if Wijnaldum's got a lot of monkeys on his back, and I feel like if he started doing things like that, then the monkeys would get twice as heavy. Do you see what I mean?
Fair enough. I mean, I can't talk. I'm just saying from my own perspective.
I hear you.
For in away games, maybe he needs to just play him in home games. I don't know about the away game figures.
Wijnaldum did have that stat for a long time, innit? He didn't score in any.
He broke his thing. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's for me. But I think Fabinho's is for somebody who's played 5 games. And started, 3 or 4 of them? Yeah,
he's doing okay. For me, Fabinho, he's a guy, he looks alright. He looks fine. He's a little bit off the pace, but he's, like you said, he's only played a few games, isn't it? He's only played a few games. It's going to take time for him to fully get up to speed of the Premier League, and the only way he's going to do that is if he plays games. But to go back to what Leroy said, I get what Leroy's thinking is there. You're asking a lot of a man to come into a game of that intensity, that magnitude, that importance, and do well. So whilst he never hid and he was always trying, had you have had Henderson in there, then maybe you could have introduced Fabinho a little bit later, because the game might have been a bit more stable, a bit more scored.
So who would you have played? What midfield did you have?
That's what I was saying though. If you have Hendo in there, because what you had there, I'm looking at straight switch.
No, because Hendo weren't fit, was he?
Yeah, but that's how.
When he fit for the game, no?
I'm not sure if he
I thought he was fit. So who else? So who else have we? Should we have Fabinho and who?
Cater and Hendo weren't fit.
Yeah, you there.
So
you got to play with what you got. Then.
Exactly. So
you got to play with what you got. Then that's my bad. Then.
You had too many options, but I suppose he could have set it up a bit different in terms of maybe. I think if he could have asked Fabinho to sit a bit more.
Well, to be honest, I'm noticing I don't know if someone mentioned it, but I think it was I spoke to Sim, and I agreed with him. Because what I don't like the fact of is that at games, there's times, and I could see it once, as soon as Sim said it to me, I see it. Firms drops into into almost like a midfielder position, like an attacking midfielder, like linking up the thing. It's crazy. You're now losing
a striker.
You got a front three. Now it's dropping in to do that, to link up with that.
Well, you're talking about that was Tuesday. We actually brought Firmino on to be the link man between the midfield and the attack.
There you go.
Because that was Lallana's job, and he weren't doing a great job.
That's where that Fekir signing would have come into play, wouldn't it?
There you go. We keep coming back.
I know that's where that Fekir signing, because that's him. He's the link man.
We keep coming back to Fekir, but do you know what? I'm inclined to trust the backroom staff who tested him, and if they see a problem, then
which is fair enough.
I don't want an Aquilani on our books.
No,
do you know what I mean?
Nothing worse if you bring a guy in like that and he's there to do a job, and then all of a sudden the guy's just he's a time bomb. That's what they reckon. So, it may not go, it could go. He's one of them ones, isn't it?
Yeah, so I agree we are missing the Fekir type, but at the same time, I'm glad we haven't brought in a guy whose fitness.
I mean, maybe we're panicking for nothing. Now maybe when Cater gets up to speed, then he's a guy to fill the role.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. We still got options in the ranks and few players to come back fit. You know, so maybe we are panicking. But you know what? On a whole, for me, the Arsenal game, I was a little bit disappointed. But like you said, a point away at home to one of the top 6 rivals is not a bad result.
I've become a little bit more disappointed after the game because there's Arsenal fans flapping their gums.
Well, that's what Arsenal fans do.
Like they won the World Cup or something. But
well, do you know what? But that goes to show, innit? The fact that Arsenal fans are excited for a point against us shows how far we've come in terms of our levels. You know what I mean? And the respect people have for us. So I'll take that as a good point. But Arsenal fans will be Arsenal.
And if you're listening, you're going to get yours at Anfield, don't worry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. Any Arsenal fans out there think that, they're going to come to Anfield and do any drama? Nah, it ain't going to be that. We going to get you, boys. You know what I mean? So then let's move on then. Let's go to today's game. Liverpool-Fulham, 2-0 scoreline. It was a goal. How can I forget who scored the first goal? I know Shaqiri scored the second goal. First goal came from Mo Salah, that's right. Jeez.
That's how mad
the memory's faded. It's faded. So 2-0. So I'm going to dive in first on this one.
Go for it, yeah.
The Fulham game, jeez. Klopp said in midweek that anybody who is expecting a win not to turn up to the game, to go home basically. So he was anticipating, for me, a nervy, tense game. And I think in the first, say the first half, we got that. I mean, Fulham had a few chances, but on the whole, we looked in control of that game. Yeah. It was never really in doubt. And as much as Klopp was saying that, I would think I was one of those fans that would have had to stay at home because I was expecting nothing but a regulation win.
I don't think that was necessarily meant for the fans, though. I think that was for his players. I think he's trying to get them to refocus. Sometimes when managers come out with stuff, people think it's directed at the media or the fans. I don't think it is. I think that was one for the players to say, turn up and do your job. Don't. Because I think that's the thing. In the Red Star game, we turned up like we won already. Do you know what I mean? I think people rolled out, a little bit of arrogance, and I think he was trying to, he saw that in them. That's why I think he came out with that statement like, listen, respect, I don't care if they've lost 10 in a row. Do you know what I mean? I don't care if they've won 15 in a row. The attitude should be the same whether, you know what I mean? Whatever team you're playing.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Forget about you're expecting to win, because as soon as you do that, they'll surprise you. People turn up and go, listen, we're going to lose anyway, so we might as well have a go.
Yeah, and then they do actually beat you.
And once you get behind mentally, it's not even about the score sheet. If you allow the game to get on top of you in terms of what you're thinking about, before you know it, man, it's 80 minutes or 85 minutes on the clock and you're down. You know what I mean? And you're trying to panic him.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? You got to respect every team, every result.
But today, we rode our luck a little bit. I mean, the first goal came from an offside position. That was, do you know what? It's good thinking. It's quick thinking. That's how we're known to play. I mean, we've got the players for it. So you know, it's offside. Alisson puts the ball down out to Trent. Trent up the line to Salah. Salah ended up in the back of the net. You know, and that's Fulham's fault for switching off. But if I'm honest, I wanted more goals today. because I think goal difference is going to be a big issue for us down the line. 3 points is good, as always, but I just feel like where we're at in the Premier League, goal difference is going to be important. So I would have liked more goals. But on a whole, nice game to have after the disappointment of midweek. And overall, I'd say the 7 out of 10 performance from most players. Special mention to my guy, Andy Robertson.
Robotron.
Wow.
Robotron 3000. Why is big? Why he's serious. I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember when we were going to purchase him. And it was 8 million, and I can't remember who was in the group saying, "Oh, 8 million, we can't be spending 8 million because 8 million pounds."
Probably Leo. Leo wasn't the biggest fan of Robertson.
And I remember saying, "I've seen this guy play. I've watched him play. He's a good player." And you know, Klopp, whatever player we buy, you got to add some Klopp points on top because he usually improves people. And I remember seeing the guy and go, "Don't be surprised if he ends up being a good player." Don't get me wrong. I didn't think he was going to be this good.
Yeah,
but I'm quietly confident when we signed him, I got to say. But yeah, he was
immense today.
I was definitely man of the match. Won every duel. Was creative and energy. You know what I mean?
He just gets up and down that pitch so easily, man.
Listen, you're not telling me he's not the best left back in the league. You're not telling me. I don't care who it is.
Okay, again, I don't really like to go with these ones, but you see Gary Neville. Gary Neville wasn't your best, like, in regards to flair or whatever as a right back, but he done exactly consistently every game. As long as his legs could carry him, because I remember when he spoke about when he was coming to the end and retiring, he's looking around at certain players and he's like, "Boy, this guy's bombing past me. This one is like, you can see the legs are going." But while he was in his thing, he was in his element, and that's where this guy is at right now. He gets up and down constantly. He don't stop.
I think his worst game for Liverpool maybe the 5 or a 6. That says it all. So I remember, I can't remember which game it was, but I remember thinking he's not the normal.
Well, the fact we can't remember it means it
shows you how
been that bad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It was just off for him because his standards are so high.
What I'd like to do is just touch on the game itself. So I was obviously sat with you watching the game. Obviously a few little nervy bits, as you always do. But yeah, I agree with you, Sim. I think we were in control of the game. I think we were always going to more than likely win the game. Yeah. But I kind of beg to differ with the thing about the goal difference, because there was a stage. What was it when we were? The season when we were going for the league, maybe even, and we banged in a load of goals, like, innit, yeah. But the goal thing for me is all about. For me, a league season is won by how many games you win. That's my thing. It's not if you win 21-0 or 6-1 or this amount of one. Because imagine if it does go down to the wire where it's like goal difference, that is like you're splitting hairs now.
Yeah,
my
but I think that's
the wins.
Yeah, but I think that's a black and white way to look at it. Given the fact that City are so far ahead in terms of their performance,
scoring goals or
their performance, just winning games. In terms of winning games, I mean, let's be honest. City are the best team in the league right now.
And they're not conceding as well.
They're the best team in the league right now, right? And they don't look like losing any games anytime soon. So, given the fact City are winning how they are, all right, cool, and they're unbeaten. So are we. Now we're unbeaten. Yeah. Chelsea are unbeaten too, but I feel like where's going to be the break? Where is City going to give? If they keep winning. How are we going to win the league?
Well, that's the problem we've had since the start of the season, is that we know we can turn up against them. We know we don't fear them. How many other teams are going to be able to...
I know, but what I'm saying is that City keep winning. So how are we going to win this Premier League?
Differentiate ourselves.
How exactly? It could potentially come down to goal difference.
We're not going to... I don't think we were ever going to outscore them, to be honest with you.
But this is the thing, we may not outscore them, but in the games where we can get the extra 2-3 goals to, prop up that goal difference, we should be going for it, because at the end of the day, if City going how they're going to keep going, they're going to win this league.
Because you touched on that, would you say the fact that we're not scoring as many goals as City, was that due to us not creating as many chances or us not taking the chances? Because like today, I felt like today we could have had 4 or 5 if we were on in terms of finishing. I think our finishing was a bit off today, and we could have easily had at least 4 goals. Do you know what I mean? So
whatever it is, I want it fixed.
If it comes back to bite me, then so be it. But my thing at the moment is win first.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's my thing. If we keep getting the wins, because I've seen it time and time again in league seasons where a team will lose a certain amount of games in a season. It won't be loads, but they're winning. Like it's you know what I mean? United could lose to us, draw to City, but they win the league comfortably.
Yeah,
like,
it's gone. Yeah, but I think
it's mad.
and I get what you're saying because I'm an advocate of you don't have to beat everyone in the top 6 to win the league. But I just think the quality of the Premier League at the moment, or should I say the quality of Man City, it must sound like I'm a City fan.
Yeah, I'm the same.
The levels have been upped. You have to.
That's the pressure, though.
The levels have been upped, and I just feel like you have to. Everyone has to now match what Man City are doing.
But the thing is, this is why we're even. It's that pressure. That's the reason why we're even questioning our performances. If you look at where we are,
it's crazy. To where we were before
today, as of today.
Okay, but last season,
points.
Where were Manchester United last season?
What do you mean in terms of?
Didn't they finish second last season?
Yeah, but we're close. But they finished second about 200 points off City.
Yeah, but it didn't start. But my point is, it didn't start that way.
No, but by this point, I think they started to stretch away at this point.
But we kind of, to be fair, they wouldn't have finished where they did if we didn't. We kind of flopped.
We took our eye off the ball.
No, of course, but okay, forget. I know,
and not to finish in the top, not to finish first.
Yeah, but what my point is that Chris is saying, look where we are now. Yeah, yeah, we're second, but we're still behind City.
No, we're top. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, right, the second.
No, but they could lose. They could.
Okay,
what I'm trying to say is,
as we record this podcast, Liverpool are top of the Premier League.
My point
but Man City are yet to play against Manchester United.
I get that, but the point I'm trying to make is that we're not falling off. We're keeping pace with them. We're keeping pace.
But we already fell off. We already fell off in the terms of we didn't beat Arsenal. Whether we think that was a fair result or not, we didn't beat Arsenal, so we dropped 2 points.
But that today could be the point where they might draw with United today.
It could be,
possibly. And if they did,
we're yet to find out. And this is.
That's what I'm trying to say. So the way I'm taking it, and the thing is, because I've been there, I've been in exactly your shoes, and I'm saying, why didn't we do this? And why didn't we do that? And I'm looking at the league table, and I'm looking at last year's league table, and I'm going, we're second in our Champions League group. We haven't played great, but we're second in our Champions League group in a group with Napoli and PSG, and we're top of the table as of right now, keeping up with points, not conceding goals. City are better because they are better. Do you know what I mean? So looking for the reasons why we can't match them at the minute, there's no point because
I'm not looking for reasons why they're better than us. I know they're better than us.
100%. I think so as well.
But I just feel like when we can kick on not an extra gear, that's the wrong thing to say. When we can match them in certain things, i.e. scoring in a game against Fulham, scoring 4 goals instead of 2, we should be looking to do that.
You know what I think it is, though, Slim? I think it is withdrawal symptoms from the champagne, from the football. I think because we're not playing the same beautiful game.
We're Prosecco right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite. Don't bury
no champagne shit going on around here.
All right, I'm going to bring it back. It weren't our best manager in Rodgers. I wasn't a thing. But game against Palace, we're winning the game. Then we start going for the jugular to go and get more goals.
But I respect that though.
But I don't.
But I respect that because we needed the goal. We needed the goals.
But what I'm saying is,
there's a way you can do it.
You know what? Okay, in that game, I don't respect it.
Would you rather draw the game rather than win?
In that game, I can't respect that in the sense of the fact that that 3-goal lead would have been enough for us. But I respect the thought process thinking, right, boom, we've got 3, let's not sit in our laurels, let's go get 4, let's go get 5. I can respect that. Against certain teams, Palace was the wrong team to do it against, because Palace away is always a tough fixture. I don't care, we were 3-0 up, but they're still Palace, innit? They're still capable to come back and nick 1 and 2, 3 like we saw. You're at home against Fulham, who have conceded shit amounts of goals, not scored any goals away from home. Come on, man.
But the team, see that, that never lasts forever. They might have this little form now where they lost 1-0 to Huddersfield. I think they played Huddersfield away from home as well. Yeah. They played Huddersfield away, Liverpool away, and they've only conceded 3 goals now. So that's going to be like,
so it might be a start for them. Yeah,
we've had. I mean, you'll see their next game. I don't know who they might have. They'll be at home now. So their next game they have a little break.
Yeah, because they were definitely more controlled today than they have been. I've seen games where half their teams on one side of the pitch.
Open season.
They didn't play like that today.
It's crazy. Seriously,
they didn't play like that today. And it's even, like I said, even saying that, given that, we still 100%. Didn't finish all of our chances. We should have scored them. No. So I don't think and even some of the interplay was decent. You know, it wasn't the full on Liverpool champagne thing, but we had some nice little moments there as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all in all, I know what you're saying, Slim. But
I'm with it. But I'm so down with this wins. I'm all about wins. I've seen it.
Okay.
Look, Chelsea, Chelsea the season that they won the league, yeah, so obviously not last season, season before, they went on, what was it, a 13-game winning thing. They weren't smashing teams, they were just winning games.
Nicking goals.
And you see what the difference of just wins do.
Wins, yeah.
Oh my God, bro. You're so far ahead. It's unbelievable. Even City, you don't even need to bang in bare goals when they won last season.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they were just winning games, bro. I'm telling you, at the moment, because we can't see where City are like this, we're like that.
You can't see the
They're
gaps.
Like
It looks like we're not doing.
But we're keeping up with them, mate. When you're 12 points off, that's ridiculous. You need them to lose how many games on the spin, and you've got to win all your games
So that's
to
more
even
pressure,
get up with them.
Yeah.
Right now, we haven't set that task for ourselves. We're there with them. So right now,
They're still looking. They might look comfortable, which they haven't looked, but they're still. They know that
they're gonna hit a little. They're gonna hit a patch. Everyone has a little.
Everyone has a wobble.
Yeah, they're gonna have a little one. May not be as hard as what other people have.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a little one. So we just got to stay in and amongst them. That's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on the Fulham game, let's talk about the team lineup because I was on the way back from coaching my underage football team, so I didn't have a chance to look at the lineup. And when I finally got a chance to see the lineup, this is the lineup I want to see. We had standard normal back four. Yeah, I think we all know.
Yeah, it's but easy.
And then I think it's the midfield. I think where the changes,
it's choppy,
and I think that's where we have problems in the midfield. But today's midfield with Fabinho, Wijnaldum, and Shaqiri in a slight number 10 role, slightly right hand side of the three. I think home games especially. That should be our formation. That should be our midfield because you've got two guys that Fabinho, he's a holder, and he can also box to box ish. Wijnaldum, definitely a box to box midfielder, and then you've got that attacking threat from Shaqiri.
I like
Shaqiri, who's got an eye for a pass, wicked left foot, can score, can get beyond the front three, as we've seen before. So I think that midfield for me. While we got the injuries, we got people coming back, is our best midfield. And I was hoping to see that today, and I was glad to see it today. And for me, it worked. I mean, look, Shaqiri got a goal. Do you know what I mean? He did some good bits today. Got in amongst the players, got in between the lines and stuff, and tried to link up with the front three as well. And I think that's what the front three have been missing. I think the reason our front three was so successful last season is because they had someone who could see them and see the movement they were making. So and I think Shaqiri's the only one at the moment in the squad who's capable of doing that. So I was very happy after Klopp's ropey selection and substitution performance on Tuesday. I was very happy with the selection today and that team going forward. After the international break, if the injuries are still the same, I still want to see that. I mean, Henderson did come on today.
Kane came on as well.
Yeah,
so I think they're both fit
came on today. So obviously they're gaining match fitness. They're gaining match fitness.
I actually heard a rumour before the game that he was going to start Lallana again.
No.
There was. I can't remember where I heard it from.
There was somebody put in the group.
Really?
I think Warren put in the group that Lallana was gonna start today.
But that's the thing is, the weird thing is, I never want to go or try to beat down any of our players just for the sake of it. It's going to sound like a strange thing to me to say. I'm worried about Lallana having a good game. But what I mean by that is Klopp has a lot of... He's Klopp's stepson. Everybody says that. Do you know what I mean? I'm worried that if he even has a half-decent game, he will continue He will continue to pick him. He will continue to pick him. And for me, he should be gone. And I mean, just keep on going over the same thing, but... It's just, I'm being honest. I'm getting my internal demons out here. You know what I mean? I just thought about that stuff like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think about it because Klopp loves him. There's some players, every manager does it, where they have a guy unexplainably loyal to the.
I think at every level of football, the manager has a guy. I mean,
nobody else can see it.
Yeah.
Nobody else can see it, but it's with him. But like I said, with in terms of the formation and stuff like that, I think I agree with you in terms of Shaqiri. Him and Kate can maybe switch some games on, some games off. I'd like to see Keita eventually worked into the team because I think he is one of those players that can help us keep the ball better.
Was today a 4-3-3 or was it more of a 4-2-3-1-ish?
I think it was a 4-3-2-1. I might have got that wrong.
Are you having it as Salah was the one further up ahead of everyone?
Why I would say that, I've got two questions with Salah playing sort of
a striker
role. Is Firmino being sacrificed in order for Salah to play in that position?
100%.
And basically, is Firmino's ability to play in different positions hurting his season?
100%.
Because he's not getting as many goals.
100%.
Because he won't complain. He won't complain.
hurt. It hurts
I think he's one of those rare breed of players that I'm sure he enjoys scoring. I'm sure he enjoys giving assists. But he's genuinely happy for the team to win. And it's rare. And that's why I just say, even when I criticise it, I try to check myself a little bit, understanding that putting the ball in the back of the net is not the only thing he is doing for the team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's key to the way we play because of, you see him at left back and right back making challenges.
Yeah.
What other forwards in the league you see doing that? You're not going to score as many goals
if you're back there.
If you're back there doing that, you haven't got the energy to go back up and then read the game again and get set and then make a run. You know, it's a sacrifice that he's willing to and he's not going to complain about it. He don't care if he scores 50 goals or 1 if we win.
Well, my thing on it is if you're talking about the way in which the front three is, I wouldn't mind seeing this again, where you have obviously Mane out on one side, Salah out on the other, and Bobby in the middle. I prefer it that way. Like,
it's funny you should say that, because my next question was going to be: do you think Salah should be shifted back to the right hand side of the three?
Yeah, I think we'll be more effective again because and if you want to in games, maybe change it in a game where if you want to play Salah up there. But
because
that's how we should be starting, because you tear a team apart then, because what you've got is you've got
stretching them.
You've got to deal with this Mane out here. You've got to deal with Salah out here. So they're being stretched.
And then you get Shaqiri and that running through the middle.
You've got a problem now. That's what you want. The team's getting pulled from this way and whatever. When it's that way, you get too much of a pattern of play, as I was saying to you in the game, Chris. Patterns of play, through when I played myself, what you get is that a team starts getting comfortable with your waves of attack. So you're not changing nothing. It's the same. So they know what's coming every time. Unless you do it accurate, pinpoint, then you might get your goal. And sometimes with us, we'll get that one chance and we miss it. And if you fluff your lines, it's game over. This is all built. It's fine lines, man.
Very fine.
Where we are aiming to be is very fine lines in games.
Exactly.
So we need to get it right.
Sorry, adding to what you just said, in terms of Salah playing through the middle, getting shifted right. I think some of the players are looking for him too much in games.
I agree with you.
There are left. If you watch how many games we watched this season, and for some reason Mane does it a lot. We ignore the left. We ignore Robinson's runs. Robinson's always making good runs, and he's open a lot of the time. And with his pace, he can get in behind.
Well, he had a shot today, didn't he? Got deflected.
Yeah,
he did get the ball once, but I know the time you're talking about Salah. They had the ball. I can't remember who was driving forward the ball, and the pass was out to the left, and they passed it to Salah. And we know what Salah's going to do, innit? Whether he's back to goal or whatever way he's facing, he could be doing a handstand. He's going to check to come back in on that left foot. And don't get me wrong, he's got a wonderful left foot. We know what he can do, but it's getting a bit predictable. And
definitely,
either whether you want loads of goals or whether you just want the 3 points on the board, I think always looking to Salah and him to bend it into the far corner or whatever. It's not going to work. We're going to need to start looking elsewhere and maybe using Salah as a decoy in order for other players to get in, to secure the bag, get an extra goal.
We were doing that last season.
We were
doing that last season.
A game, I know this is looking at one game, but the game against Roma, when we played them at Anfield in the first Champions League game, first leg, it was amazing because, again, we were Ox came off injured in that game, but even still, they were just stretched. They didn't know what to do with themselves. It was like, Salah's murdering here, Mane's killing him here. It was just like, what do we do?
Because Salah was playing like a winger.
It was crazy. He was so far out. When I'm watching the game, he was hugging the line, old school.
Yeah.
So when that ball gets out there now, this guy is on his own now. The isolated. They don't want that.
Yeah,
you want that back in now. But you ain't got it now. So if he gets in that space behind you, it's problems.
Yeah.
And that kept happening every time. But now we're not stretching.
I think we've deviated from last season's. We've deviated from last season's plan a lot this season, and I'm not saying it in a bad way because
I think it's been intentional.
We're unbeaten, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But I think
it could be fixed easily.
It could be.
Just every once in a while, it's nice to say, "Listen, I want you to." Today I want you to stay there.
Yeah.
Just every other game. Every once in a while do that.
That's what I want. That's what I'm asking for. Because when you show that variation in a game, yeah,
People don't know what to do.
Right. Now they're baffled
Exactly.
Because they know he's quick enough to beat you.
Exactly.
And they got runners from midfield coming on and stuff, yeah.
Exactly. A little bit of variation. That's all. That's basically what I'm asking for as
Trust
well.
me.
I like we're on the same page. I like it. All
No,
different points.
we can
All
see it,
different
we can
points.
see it.
But when it
Guys
came
in the same
together,
place.
we
We
all
can
said
see
the
it.
same thing. Do you know what
We
I
can
mean?
see it. So we just need the midfield to go, okay, there's other people on the pitch too.
Exactly.
You know, Mane can bang a goal, Robertson can get in there, people from
Exactly.
midfield, pass the ball left.
I mean, that was
And-
part of our game with our fullbacks getting so high up the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So they can get in and get round the back.
And you see the damage we're doing on the left, though, when we actually go on the left, do you know what I mean? So I don't understand why we're not shifting it more down that side as well, because
It's weird, man.
obviously Robertson's a more complete fullback now than
Than
Trent,
Trent,
you know what I
man,
mean?
without a shadow.
So why don't we...
While we sit quickly, them two, Trent and Robbo,
Oh,
just
yeah.
found out about their little competition they have for assists.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a healthy competition.
Very
for them
healthy.
to
Yeah, you can
have.
tell, especially with those two players who,
Very healthy.
who, you know, they're humble guys. Both of them seem like it, and so I don't think it will be an issue. I think it's definitely a positive.
100%. 100%.
No, yeah. So, right, while we're on the Fulham game, as we always do, was pick a man of the match. I think this is going to probably be unanimous, and I'll go first. I think Robertson's my man of the match, hands down. I don't need to say anything else.
Yeah.
Chris?
The Robotron 3000. Semi, no, trust me.
I'm giving him that name
It is
now.
the
Robotron.
Robotron. Seriously, that guy's mechanical with his movements, man. Trust me.
It's a man of the match, but shadow, easy.
Yeah.
Easy one. That was an easy one there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Robertson obviously part of a great back four we got this season, and Trent, Gomez, and Van Dijk. Mitrovic was a handful today. But I think they managed to handle him well. They kept him quiet. They kept another clean sheet. And we always talk about the relationship between them two and how well they're getting on. But another thing I noticed watching Bezzies on the Liverpool FC channel, or YouTube channel, the connection they have with each other, and even more than that, watching that program, the way, like they basically, if anyone doesn't watch it, the way Bezzies works, they ask each player questions, and they have to try and get the questions right. Like, so for argument's sake, they'll say to Gomez, what number was Van Dijk when he played at Celtic? Yeah, and then Van Dijk will come back and he'll say, it's this number, and then, you know, you get it right. So what I got from that video is, like I said, firstly, the bond that they have, but second of all, how much Gomez actually looks up to Van Dijk and respects him. So the outcome of that program was Gomez got more questions right than Van Dijk did, but the body language I can see from Gomez in that video, he really, really looks up to and respects Van Dijk as a player, as a leader, as a friend. No, I can't say a father figure because I'm not sure Van Dijk's
big
that
bro,
much
yeah.
older.
Big
Big
bro.
brother, that's
Big
it.
bro, yeah.
Perfect, Chris. As a big brother, and I think we keep talking about it week in, week out on the podcast, in the media, and XYZ, how good their partnership. And I just think that is so key, that relationship that they have.
The lights can use connection.
The Beige brothers.
Yeah, the beige
Kind of
tea,
brothers. I just think it was, for me, it was so nice to see how Gomez looks up to him. And I think, again, going forward, that partnership is going to, for me, I'm going to touch the wood. That partnership could surpass the Hoopio and the Honcho partnership. Or even,
In terms of talent, they're more
Talent, definitely.
talent-wise, yeah.
I'm talking longevity, clean sheets, maybe even winning things. Do you know what I mean? I just feel that partnership is absolutely solid right now, and I don't want to see it broken.
That's why everybody gets a little bit touchy when
You see a
Matip
Matip
or
in there, I love
Lovren.
it.
We don't want to see that. We know what them two can do.
Centre backs, they don't.
You don't need, we got the beige connection, not the calamity connection. You know what I mean, with the other two guys.
We know what they can do, man.
Listen, when they played that Chelsea game, when they played Lovren, Moreno, and brother, listen, I was behind my couch watching that game, man. We could have scored 10 in that game and I'd still been nervous.
Centre backs, you don't need to break that partnership.
No, leave them alone.
Unless there's an injury, or we're playing a cup game and you're changing all the back four, those back two.
Leave them alone.
What surprises me about it is that it's because what I got from that Bezzies watching them is it's just how well they know each other. It's not just like you've got two guys there that can play with each other. It's how well they know each other, If Gomez has taken the time out to know what number the guy wore at thing, because he's watched him, obviously, they're knowing each other. They're really getting to know one another, and that's settling for me.
They're talking as well.
Yeah, they stay
off the pitch.
Yeah.
Off the pitch, they're talking, because, when you're playing training, you're not really talking about these subjects. These are things that are happening.
Yeah,
you're either going for meals together, going around to each other's house,
100%.
or...
They're down with they room with each other as well when we play away. So that's what I want. I want him to know what the other one's looking to do without even the telepathic thing going on. You know what I mean?
And they both trust each other. You can tell that's the big thing.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean? Because I remember a situation a while back where it was Lovren and even Matip, I think, at the time, and you could tell they didn't trust each other because we had goals conceded where they were both standing there watching each other, or the flip side of that, where somebody's trying to overcompensate for somebody else who's not doing their job. You can tell that they both trust each other. You know what I mean? Once you get that trust in terms of a professionalism and the friendship as well combined, then you're golden. You know, you're definitely on point.
It's definitely bodes well for the future. I just really thought that little clip, that little thing on YouTube was a good insight into the relationship.
No, you definitely see the respect there, and you know what I mean. Not just respect, the love there. You can see that. You know what I mean. They'll be friends when they're not playing together. You know what I mean. You can tell them guys.
I really enjoy those little bits of insight behind the scenes.
Definitely.
Because, those tell you how well your players are getting on. Do you see what I mean? So. Yeah. Anyway, another thing I noticed today on social media was a stat somebody posted about Eden Hazard. And Salah. Everyone is raving about Hazard at the moment, saying how good he is and blah, tear. But I've found out that Hazard this season has 8 goals and 4 assists, and Salah has 7 goals and 4 assists. But yet everyone's saying Hazard's having this great season, and everyone's questioning Salah's numbers, saying maybe he's having a bit of a poor season. Any reason why you think Salah's getting such a rough time?
I think it's the nature of football. I think some players, regardless of their ability, usually good players at the same time, to be honest with you, they get put in this certain light where they're stars and they're untouchable, and everything they do, whether it's a flick, whether it is a 30-yard goal or a tap-in, gets magnified to the up-team level. And there are other players who do the same level of damage or more, because and don't get the credit. I've had this conversation with Hazard, comparing him to Mane, because a lot of people are quick to jump on, because Mane doesn't look as graceful in possession. He's a bit hectic, a bit kamikaze in his style, which makes him effective, because he don't know what he's going to do.
Kamikaze, I'm trying to think of the right word. Unpredictable is probably a good word.
Unpredictable. Yeah. So I think because of that, he's not as graceful on the ball. He doesn't. People assume that what he's doing is luck more than skill. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Hazard, because his close control is second to none.
Yeah, he
glides across the pitch. He looks amazing. But if you compare numbers, games played, goals scored, and assists, Mane is whooping him. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes people forget that. People look at it and go, Hazard is a name out there.
Yeah.
Ramos is a name out there.
Yeah.
So their mistakes or their shortcomings don't get highlighted in the same way that somebody would go, oh man, he might score a goal, but he might always, whiff it over the bar.
A bit like a Primark clothing and a design.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because it's like, for example, it's funny you should say that. I used to work in men's tailoring, and everybody used to come into our store and buy like Dolce and Gabbana gear and stuff like that. Yeah. And it goes, I wouldn't buy that stuff if I was you. You can go down a Next or something like that and get a shirt which is the same quality, but ain't got the name on it, and you ain't paying £150 for it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But people assume because there's a certain name on it that it's automatically better.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a situation you get with
footballers.
Footballers as well, and with Salah, because he was literally everything went for him. Yeah. Like for us last season, it was just 44 goals for a winger, which he is, or inside. I don't know what they call it, inverted
wide forward,
or whatever they want to call it.
They like to call him.
I think people forget that he is still a winger, playing in a forward position. It's not a natural finisher, although he's banged goals. And if you can't compare, he scored more. You know what I mean? Last season, you know what I mean? They weren't close to Hazard. I think he scored more goals last season than Hazard did in the previous 3 seasons combined. Do you know what I mean? So, and he's on par with him this season. So I think opposition fans, you have to remember, Liverpool fans are going to panic because we're not playing the same style of football as last season. and opposition fans are always going to want to tear down your players, regardless. So they're not going to look at it in the same light. Everybody's going to pick Hazard, regardless of this man's got the same numbers or better numbers. Hazard's the name.
Do you know what it is though? For me, I wasn't Hazard. I look at him. So I think this is a really good topic, to be honest. I looked at Hazard, and my friend used to go on about him, and he's an Arsenal fan, but he used to laud this guy. I think this is the guy, isn't it? But then I've watched Hazard, and I realised why. In sometimes they give, because I say, oh, this guy goes missing, like. But actually, it's his injuries, yeah. But when he plays, I've seen him play against United. I've seen him play against us.
I know what you're gonna say.
And when he plays, man, and he's not just like attacking you, but he's just killing you. I've never seen a guy like. He's not even that big, you know. But I've seen the way he just hold like Sterling. People don't give Sterling enough credit for the way he holds. Yeah,
straight.
It's all in their legs, bro. You see them, no thing.
Hard food, bro.
But I'm telling you, man, these guys will hold you out, back out, boom, they're gone.
Hard food, man.
There's no messing.
Yeah.
There's no messing. So I can see why he gets the thing, because sometimes, like I say, I look at Mane and he's unpredictable, but I like when I see a guy who's controlled, it's graceful, they got the ball, and it's all in their touch. If you touch them and they go down, it's not like you booted the ball 50 yards ahead of yourself and then now you've fallen over or they've taken you out. Like, because that's sometimes what happens with Mane. I'm not knocking him.
Mane's
If he had a better touch.
Mane's touch today,
Mad.
someone played him through, and
You understand what I'm saying? With someone like Hazard, that's boom, goal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why when you see him and De Bruyne playing for each other for Belgium, they complement each other. Because when they look, the way it's like, oh, that's how. When man plays Hazard through, it's goals. Yeah. When he plays Lukaku through, he's got to do that about 3, 4, 5 times before he scores.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I think. I think Hazard, he should get a little bit of the plaudits because he's a phenomenal player. Going forward, he's phenomenal. I don't know at the moment if you look in world football, who else is on what he's doing? Like there are guys out there.
Yeah, there's guys, but let's just have it. Who's on his level?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but trust me, Chelsea without him.
No, I hear that. But the only thing I used to counter that is,
go on.
It's all about the numbers at the end of the day as well. If you've got that level of ability, should you not be scoring 25 a season minimum?
But he's not. When I look at guys like that, though, yeah, I look at them like as if they're like do you class Hazard as a forward or do you class him as an attacking midfielder? I see him as an attacking midfielder myself, but I don't know.
I see him as it's difficult. I think he's somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just an attacking midfielder, and I wouldn't quite call him a forward. I would say he's an attacking midfielder, but attacking midfielders now are forwards. So I won't let him off because he's not like he's hugging the touchline and crossing the ball in.
Nah,
he's going where he wants to.
He's not.
Do you know what I mean? And Salah is going where he wants to.
Yeah,
it's fair. It's a fair comparison to comparing to Salah. It's a fair comparison to comparing to Mane. They go where they want to. They're free players. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? I slightly disagree with you there. Not with Mane. Mane does a lot more defensive work than both of those two players. Mane is a guy who gets wide and tracks back.
I give you that. I give you that. But I'm talking about in general terms, in terms of when they're attacking. They're both in a situation where they're allowed to attack from whatever angle they want to. Do you know what I mean? They obviously they've got a position in the tactics of the team, or the position of the team. But all three of those players are allowed to.
Yeah, but I feel like Mane has more responsibility than the other two because Mane has to get back and defend. You watch it every time the play breaks down. Mane's back defending. So
okay, but saying that slightly. I'm going to cut in there. Sorry, should Hazard be scoring more goals? That's my point.
Yeah, than what he has done. Yeah. He should have more goals.
He should have more goals. He should definitely. I agree.
He should have more goals.
His stats. Salah and Hazard's stats should be on a par because they have the same responsibilities in the team in terms of no defensive responsibilities, not many, and they're free to go where they want. So, like you're saying, the fact for me, Mane's stats are there or thereabouts is, hats off to Mane.
Phenomenal.
He has a lot more defensive responsibilities than both of them.
He frustrates because he could do more.
Yeah,
because even though he's doing well, if his touch was as good as, say, Hazard's,
oh my God,
he would have 50 goals a season.
Problem.
I think it's his touch that he needs to sort
problem.
out.
And he's passing. He sometimes when he passes short, it's like short passes. It's almost like he puts his foot for it and expects it to go to where he wants it, rather than using the same technique he would to shoot or whatever. Just ensure it gets to the person. You know what I mean? I think he's,
Yeah. No. Okay. Fair dues. Well. Lastly, lads, we got a crappy international break coming up. You know what I mean? We all love those, don't we? Do you know what I mean? No football for a week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after we come back from the international break, fingers crossed, all our players come back safe and sound. We have Watford away. Watford away. Just a quick word on the team you hope to see out there for Watford away.
Tough game. I would like to see some battlers in that team. So I'd get Fabinho in there again. I might play Henderson as well. And either I'd sacrifice a little bit of us going forward. So I would swap out Shaqiri for Keita. Okay. So I'd play a 4-2-1-3. I think it is
4-2-3-1.
Is it 4-2-3-1?
4-2-3-1. Yeah.
No. I'd play 4-2. So our back four.
Yeah.
Fabinho and Henderson.
Holding.
Yeah.
That two there.
Yeah, and one. Kate is the one in between. So there's like a one in between.
Yeah. Okay. The one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. So I'd play that role. So that way you've got cover defensively, and you've got players who can go forward and in both. I mean, like I said, Keita and Fabinho should be able to dovetail.
Yeah.
One sitting, one going forward.
Yeah.
And that gives you a little bit more solidity, a bit more anger in midfield in terms of going and trying to tackle people and win the ball back, and then you've got the threat going forward. You know,
that would be my ideal formation. But knowing Klopp likes a 4-3-3, if I have to go for a 3 in midfield, I think I'd actually go Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum. If I'm honest.
Actually, I forgot about Wijnaldum. Sorry, there for a second. They weren't intentional.
I'd go for those 3 in midfield.
Yeah, right.
They weren't intentional.
I'd go for those 3 in midfield, and obviously the front and the back speaks for itself if he's going to go for a 4-3-3. But ideally, the 4-2-1-3 for me, I'd like that. But I'm not sure I'd go Keita. I think I'd still keep Shaqiri next because I think it's just a bit more dynamic, a bit more.
I'm worried that he will play Lovren.
You think? Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, because they're a bit more aerial.
They are a bit more aerial,
and he tends to drop Lovren in.
I think. Do you know what? I actually feel that Gomez deals with the big players.
We all do. I do, but it's Klopp.
Yeah, we're not the ones that got.
No. I'm not thinking you guys. But I'm just saying. I think he deals with them. I think he does with them quite well. Him and Van Dijk.
But then I agree with what Chris is saying. When there isn't more of an aerial threat from a team, he does seem to turn.
Because it's long, man. The only problem I have with that team is that Watford side is where you have what's their forward again? Deeney.
Yeah. I'm not sure how fit he is. He hasn't been playing.
Deeney's a man that can hold the ball up really, really well. Like when the ball comes in, he just sucks it in.
He's a problem,
and he'll link them guys up. But they've been doing okay. Watford have. They've been doing. Roundabouts and just, you know what I mean? They've been doing their bit, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. It's got to be the back four. That doesn't change. It's got to be the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, our keeper, that don't change. It's just that middle. I don't know if I don't know if I go defensive, keep that front 3, but then go a bit more defensive in that middle. Because the problem you have then is that, I'm kind of thinking my own argument here, because what happens is if you go too defensive, then you give Watford that thing to like.
Yeah, we give,
do you know what I mean?
It's the ball in it.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
And that's what I don't want. That's what I don't want.
Yeah. If you play those 3, like Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Fabinho, I think that's slightly too.
But I can see why Slim would say it, because
you'd win the battle in the midfield, wouldn't you?
Bang.
And you're hoping that they would just distribute the ball quickly enough to one of the front 3.
Yeah, maybe.
You've got to remember, Firmino will probably more than likely drop in.
Yeah, Milner as well.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, Milner can distribute the ball as well.
But that's the other thing. I worry. What about if you get a penalty there? Who steps up? If you've got no Millie on there, who steps up?
That is a good question.
Salah's not terrible.
He's not terrible, but
but he's not my. I'll be honest. If he's listening to this, he's not my banker.
You know what it is? I think it's that Millie's so consistent with his penalties.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think Salah's missed 1 penalty for us, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
against Huddersfield. Was it Huddersfield he missed the penalty against?
To remember you, it's a stretch, mate.
I think he's missed 1, but what it is, because Millie's so consistent, I think that's
everyone else looks poor.
I mean, even Firmino's had a few, and I saw he's missed
about 2 or 3.
Yeah,
he's been missed 2 or 3.
I don't like that. That's you gotta have that guy on there. That's gonna be like Stevie was that man.
Give it to Virgil.
He probably score.
He probably
no doubt. But I'm with you.
Nothing that guy can't do, but let's not give him the pens. Yeah, but it's a good question, Leroy. I don't know who I'd give it to. There's no Milner on there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
but we haven't had a penalty this season.
I know.
So
have we not?
Haven't we? No, not this season. No.
Really?
I've only awarded one penalty all season.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That's wild.
Mad stat, innit?
Yeah, wow. Seriously, how do you know what I mean? We're due a couple then.
Hopefully that comes to us later on in the season when it gets a bit tougher, innit?
But you know what? Before you guys sign off, because it feels like we're going that way, but we're 12 games in, right? It is so early days. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The way like we are scrutinising a side, 12 games in.
It's City. City's pressure.
It's crazy.
It's the
Chris
pressure.
said it right.
It's the City pressure.
Let's have it right.
That's the only
pressure that City you're putting
because we know we got no room. We got no room for error.
Any. It's so depressing. Yeah, we always seem to get ourselves in and about for a like a league challenge when something different is happening. Like the league season, we ended up being second. I think we lost to United.
Rodgers. Was it under Rodgers?
No. It was
before that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
It was the highest second you would any other season you'd have won the league.
We do feel
what the hell? Like,
it does feel like we're not getting it. We does feel like we don't. Timing.
That's Liverpool for
That's
you.
timing.
Oh my
That's
God!
Liverpool for you.
It's
timing
like,
is off.
That was it there, but now we're going to move the goalposts over
And now
here.
we've got City.
And now we've got City doing
Now
it.
we've got
Now we've got
City.
City. When it comes to the time where we can possibly get back glory,
Exactly.
the goalposts have moved.
With their financial doping still. But anyway,
exactly.
What's going on with that though? Seriously.
certain teams they've got the money. Them guys, I don't know. It's just
It's the same thing with PSG as well. You know?
yeah, they're allowed to get rid of madness. You know what I mean? I knew the funny thing is with the thing with the sponsors because that's the way you're meant to be doing it through sponsorships by giving silly. Like over the top sponsorship deals and stuff like that. Don't surprise me. It don't surprise me. That's why
Nonsense,
this
man.
is why Liverpool fans, as much as we might want to, and I conclude myself in this, you have to still realise what you're up against.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Next level.
It's there's two different levels to this. I had an argument about this before in our WhatsApp group when I first got in there, and I think it was with Ryan actually. To be fair.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It was Ryan, actually, to be fair. It was Ryan. And I was saying about us not having the sort of money to compete with the others. You go, no, we got the money, man. We got the money. And I'm like, mate, we've been selling guys to buy guys for the longest. This is the first time I've seen it where I'm so excited because I'm like, we got this guy, we got this guy, and we can still have this guy on the bench. You know what I mean? It's like it's different now, you know. So, but anyway, I don't want to digress from where we're
you're
at.
good, man.
No, that's right.
You're good.
It's
But you're
100%.
right.
It
You're
is.
right. This is the first time we have got that. But
But even then, we get in that position.
yeah, it's still. There's another thing now.
It's crazy.
It's like there's another thing in it. It's like they say, spin around 3 times and hop on your leg.
Yeah,
Right, I've done that. Can I go now?
Yeah.
No. Now do that again. But now hop on the other leg.
Yeah, exactly. exactly.
That's too much. It's too
Exactly.
much.
It's a big obstacle, but we
Fingers
just
crossed.
We
man.
just, like you said, I know I said on the top of the podcast, goals.
Yeah,
but ultimately, we just got to keep winning.
Please, just keep winning,
We just
boys.
got to keep winning,
Please.
keep putting the points on the board, and
Please.
then come May, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, innit?
Because we've got a nice little. I think we've got an okayish run, like in the league.
the only two games that really
This
concern
now-
me are the Watford away. That could be a tough game.
Yeah.
And we got Bournemouth away. That could be a tricky game.
And then
Because they're doing all right at the moment. That's why.
because we messed up in the Champions League, now we have the
my
we have
God,
the
PSG.
PSG away,
Yeah.
and we have Napoli at home.
Yeah.
Now Napoli at home, with our crowd,
We can
hopefully
create
should.
that thing on the Champions League.
Just to touch on that quickly, I watched PSG's game against Napoli, and the front three is still not defending.
No, they don't.
They're still not
They
defending.
never will. They never will.
I don't know if I sorry, Slim. I don't mean to cut you.
No, go on.
What I noticed. So, Unai Emre, yeah, if that's the right way I pronounce his name. Unai. My bad.
Yeah.
When he was there, and you had Mbappe is one of my favourite players. Did a lot more work. Yeah. New manager, the old thingy manager now that's there. He's kind of giving them these guys the thing to not have to go back, and that's killing them. Because if you got 3 guys that's out of the game and they're not actually marking from the front, then you've had it. Like, so I'm more to it. As Chris said earlier, if you want to come to, if you're going to play you guys there and you're going to not defend and track back,
Watching that game,
Let's have it.
they're still playing the same way.
So which one? The first one or the second? The second encounter.
No, I watched PSG Napoli.
the 1-1,
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah, the
Okay.
second one. Yeah, and if PSG play that way and we play champagne, not prosecco football, I don't see a problem. I honestly do not see a problem in beating PSG. So we could possibly near enough sew up the Champions League group
If we
go
beat them,
away
we're through.
and beat them.
But it annoys me that had we beaten Red Star.
We could have rested.
It would just change the whole thing, and the whole course of the whole thing now.
We should have. You can't in a group like that, which was arguably the group of death.
Yeah.
You can't not beat the whipping boys. You know what I mean? You got to turn up, and this is why.
Look at the players that both sides have and the way they both play. Like Napoli away, tough game. You know what I mean? Flipping Paris Saint-Germain away, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's still going to be a tough game, but I feel like we can do stuff. But you know what? Like I said, let's just keep winning. Those are the only games that I think worry me in the next little run of fixtures. I think is those Champions League games. But
I don't know what games fall in between them. Jim.
I'm not sure what games fall in between them. But you know what? To be honest with you, what I'm going to say is, if I have to pick a competition to lose in, games to lose in, it's going to be the Champions League for me.
I
with you.
I'm with you. 100%.
I never want to lose. I'm going to put this on record. I never want my team to lose. I want my team to win every single game. But if I have to pick, Premier League.
Yeah.
All right, boys. It's been a pleasure. You know what, guys? When you're listening to this podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, you know, share this with your friends, comment, you know, constructive criticism is always welcome. So don't be afraid to, you know, throw a comment under the video. And don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter at South Anfield. And we're also on Instagram, so you can, you know, follow us on Instagram, you know, and get involved with the material we like to post on there. That is Anfield_South1. Boys, it's been a pleasure, just the three of us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Always a pleasure.
Always, I've been your boy Slim, and we've had with us today, we've had Chris.
See you soon, people.
And Leroy.
Peace.
It's about time he had an England cap. So come on, Bobby Robson, he's the man. Because if anyone can, Macca can. Macca can. Macca can. Macca can. Macca can.
Liverpool FC is hard as hell.
My idea was to build Liverpool up.